Sit. Stay right there. Okay. Not me, us. What does that phrase mean? It was a slogan for the Bernie 2020 campaign. It was a mantra that I would tell myself and peers and volunteers when we were going through rough times. It was an armor that we wore proudly when we were told that we had no chance and that, we could not win in Nevada. But more importantly than that, it was a promise. Not me, us was a promise that this wasn't going to be easy. It was a promise that Bernie wasn't a magic bullet that would solve all our problems if he got to the presidency. Not me, us was a promise that you weren't alone. It was a promise that others would be fighting at your side, that you would never be alone in the struggle. A promise that we would stand at your side and fight for people we didn't even know with the same passion and vigor that we wanted, for people to fight for us with. That's what Not Me Us was. As of yesterday, though, Bernie has suspended his campaign. It's not over yet. He is still on the ballots in all the remaining states, and he continues to collect delegates in order to leverage power. I woke up to my phone being blown up by, old peers, old volunteers that I worked with, friends who knew that I worked for the campaign, asking me if I was okay, wishing me well, asking for guidance, trying to see what was next. It touched me a little bit that, these people reached out to me, and I am but a small cog in a larger machine, but it shows us that our connections, the people we met on this campaign, the people we reached out to, those who we listened to, our actions were anything but small. The campaign truly was made up of individuals who did a huge amount of work and reached out to communities all over the country. And so that goes to show us that we aren't small. Individuals made up this campaign. And so Not Me Us. It was our job all along. Bernie was the tip of the spear that would make our job a whole lot easier. Bernie was the microphone that we could all project our voice with. But at the end of the day, it was always us. It was always our job in the end. And that hasn't changed. It's still us. It always was. We hold the power to create the future that we desperately need. And while I'm saddened that such a kind-hearted and honorable man, an individual who has showed it throughout his history that time after time he would be willing to fight for me, my family, my friends, and strangers that he didn't even know. I recognize that Bernie's greatest contribution to this country was inspiring masses of Americans all across the country. He inspired millions of Americans to venture out and ask if there was more than just a broken system. He helped us recognize that us, the working class, have been artificially stunted by the established and wealthy who can't bear to see a strong, educated working people. So to you, my friends and strangers who may feel helpless, hopeless, and vulnerable, take your time, grieve. But remember what we created. Remember what we were able to get done. Remember that we were always the underdogs. From the very beginning, everyone doubted us. And most importantly, remember that it was always our job. We were the legs of the campaign. We were the drivers of this engine. So, nothing's changed. Our microphone may be taken away, but we still have the power within ourselves to create the change that we need for the upcoming years. Bernie would have undoubtedly made our job easier, but now it is on every single one of us to wield responsibility, to wield power in order to get this job done. There's a lot of work that needs to be done, and I'm ready to fight. I'm tired of rolling over for the wealthy and established of this country. They hold no power over us. All they have is capital that serves as paper armor for them, that portrays them as titans, but they bleed just like us. What we have is masses of people that did the work, that went out there and fought for their communities, their family, their friends, people they didn't even know. That's what we have. We built a network of kindness, of community, of people all across the US who are ready to get up, buckle down, and do the work. That's what we have. So don't give up. Relish in the fight because there's more to come. We have a long road ahead of us. We are running out of time. What this campaign represented was a good, solid shot at giving us, the working people of this nation, a fighting chance. In the coming decades, there's going to be a lot of changes. There's a likelihood that Trump might serve another 4 years. Even if it's not Trump, these neoliberal policies that we've been living under that have gutted the core of this nation are no friends to us. The Democratic Party is no friend to the American working class, and neither is the Republican Party for that matter. We have to create a union amongst people for all of us that works to prop up the working class and includes everyone. No exclusion, no fascism. A movement that truly encompasses all folks and fights for the material interest of American working people. The Democratic Party is a husk poisoned by greed, capital, and corruption. It chose to put its entire force behind Biden and effectively set the pace for this entire election after South Carolina. There was no doubt that the American people saw what they needed in Bernie. And after South Carolina, calling in all those favors, making sure every single candidate on the field recalled just so they could press behind Biden. That set the tone. It wasn't Americans, wanting Biden. It was the fact that they were signaled that this is the guy by the DNC. And so they made their bed, and now they have to lay in it. The DNC chose to disregard the better interest of the American people, to disregard policies like Medicare for All that in this crisis we see is exactly what we need if we want to be a better nation that serves its folks. What comes next will be laid at the feet of the DNC. It isn't on me, it isn't on you, the viewer, it isn't on people who elect not to vote for Biden. It is on the DNC. Working class folks in this country truly deserve servants who will serve and protect and represent them. And unfortunately, that's not the Democratic Party. It's not the Republican Party either. It's our turn to start shaping the future of this country, the future for ourselves. We need to rip power out of the hands of those who continue to disregard our struggles as working people of this country, that continue to ship us down the river just so that they can protect their wealth and their donors and their power. So, from here on out, there's several things that we need to do. If the choice is to not vote for Biden, it's very likely that Trump will get in office again. Right there, that's fine. I respect that choice. But what we need to do as an American left, we have to start creating actual tangible power. Bernie, again, was a microphone for our voice. That would have made our job easier. But again, not me, us. It was always us, and it continues to be. So, we have to press on. We have to continue growing our network. We have to continue helping people all across this country and making sure that in the United States, there is an actual tangible left. Not these neoliberal, conservative centrists in the Democratic Party. An actual left that serves the American people. Dual power structures, defense force for marginalized and vulnerable people like me, DACA recipients, undocumented immigrants, people of all sorts. It's, like I said, it's going to be hard, but you have the promise that others will be fighting. I'll be there by your side. We just have to press on. I'd like to continue maybe creating videos in reference to leftist topics. It's going to be a long journey, and we need as many people as we can. What this campaign showed me, a lot of people agree with our ideologies. A lot of it is just messaging and their own perceptions in their head of what it means to be a leftist and the negative connotations that this country has indoctrinated within them. So I'm going to do, my little part this way and continue to help my community here in Las Vegas. But like I said, it's a long road. Grieve, take your time, but there's still work to be done. We need to get out there and do the work. Thanks.